what's going on? Focus! How are you? Welcome to the vlog. How did I lose 110 pounds? Irish weather. Look at this. Look how bad this weather is. It's just typical Irish weather. We shouldn't complain, but we're always complaining. It's we're Irish and we like to complain about the weather because the weather is always crap. So how did I lose 110 pounds? So I think you guys have seen on one of the last episodes of the vlog the kind of the physical stuff that we've gone through with Liam. And now though, I want to talk about the food side of it, because the majority of all of this weight loss is food. But I want to bring someone else into the story here that was really helpful when it came to the food. And that is Dave Galvin from Momentum Performance. Hey Dave!
Hey Vic, how are you?
What's going on, buddy?
Good,
How are things?
things good.
So we're going to talk to Dave about the food plans, all things food, and just have a general conversation with this dude, because so much of all of this weight loss, this 110 pounds, is all down to food, and this dude blew my mind. So I'm gonna put the camera directly in your face.
Fair enough.
Just to make things really awkwardly. So just to start things off, dude, when I came to you first, which was over a year ago, right?
Yeah.
What was your first impressions or thoughts, or, you know, I was stupid weight, so what did you think? Your
first question was, can I still drink Coke? I have 2 cans every day. And the answer was no. Well, I could if you want, but we're not going to get very far.
Yeah.
And the next thing was, do I have a cheat day every week? So yeah, there are things that kind of really stand out for me.
That was the first thing, that was the first real negative when I came in for this first conversation with you. When you're like, yeah, cheat meals are gone for a bit, and I'm like...
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like, I kind of go with the strategy of trying to have people... Usually when people come in, they're most enthusiastic and most motivated. Don't really like that term. It's a bit overrated in the fitness industry, motivation. It's a bit more kind of about just doing what needs to be done and just succeeding through it. Like, and yeah, it's just, it is interesting, like, you know. So I suppose even if you were to meet the guy who came into me and asked, can he still have 2 cans of Coke a day? Like, you know, would you even want 2 cans of Coke a day now? You know what I mean?
I find that if I do have to drink, I can't drink the normal stuff.
Yeah.
The zero, I can't really do sugar.
Okay, yeah.
It's like I might have one with a cheat meal or whatever, but it doesn't bother me. But I just can't do the sugar thing anymore.
Yeah, and again with cheat meal, there's a time and a place. Like, and it's not about, like, I suppose, get more into the nutrition side of it. Like, what I do with people is trying to get them to just kind of be a bit more aware of the benefits outside of just dropping a few pounds. You know, there's a lot of health kind of in with it. You know, I suppose for you and where you were at, you were, you know, obese. You're a risk factor for kind of multiple things. You had you're pre-hypertension. You were looking to go on medication for your high blood pressure. Essentially, like, your likelihood of getting a heart attack was threefold. You know, if there's any genetic kind of factors there in your family, or people have got heart attacks and stuff, you're likely to get one. And also, like, any metabolic syndrome or anything like that, you were definitely kind of a red flag. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of that stuff along the way. And like, again, kind of, I suppose the thing we do see in the industry is 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks, and kind of trainers and nutritionists and stuff kind of bragging about, like, oh, Mary came to me and she lost 3 stone in 6 weeks. Alright, fair enough. Like, if we go back to Mary on week 10, she's 4 stone up, you know what I mean? The only thing she lost is her money. Like,
yeah.
You know, it's not about kind of being that aggressive with the body and, like, depriving yourself. Like, it's a real continuum. Like, you know, people think, oh, the more I deprive myself, the better my results are going to be. Not necessarily. Like, anyone can deprive themselves for 6, 8, 10 weeks. It's long-term sustainability. You know, it's maximising, if you can maximise kind of eating habits, but, like, maximising enjoyment, and therefore, like, you know, increasing your likelihood of being able to adhere to it and sustain it long-term, which a year down the line you have been able to do. Like, the diet, like the nutrition plan we gave you, isn't very restrictive. It's pretty flexible, and you kind of learn along the way, like, as you have been for the last while, you know, changing things in and out. And it's not about, like, especially New Year's coming up, there's going to be a lot of that stuff come out. There'll be emotional hooks for people, oh, be happier, you know, and oh, look better, and all this, like, and that's great advertising, great marketing. When in reality, it's not any of those things, you know what I mean?
It's not sustainable, really, is it?
Not really, like, you know, it's even like, oh, 6 weeks, my client lost 4 stone. Yeah, great, like, but 4 stone of what? You know, it's not safe. Like, you think your body, you know, as a system, I often talked about driving the car and fueling it. And, like, I suppose that you did talk on the first day a lot about your nutritional experience when you did open up about it and stuff. And I could tell that you were after trying hard. And, you know, you got a knockback, but of course you're going to get knocked back because of the way it was done. It was done in that aggressive manner to try and lose as much weight as quickly as possible. which we often had a conversation about, by the way. Just pull the reins
Well, I
back.
suppose that was one that you know, to throw it in there. I did contact Dave at one point. You know, I suppose we had like 12 consultations, and probably halfway through, 3/4 way through, I did go, I want to lose more faster. And
yeah, I suppose it's just bring your feet back down to earth a little bit. Like, I suppose I always give the spiel, I'd say Vic is sick of it, put my hands like this, but basically it's an energy balance of what you do versus what you eat, so energy out and energy in. So I call it New Year's syndrome, which we're going to see very soon from a lot of people. People want to change and have the idea of changing, so you have basically your output of what you exercise and what you eat. So people think, okay, I'm going to eat less and I'm going to exercise more, which on paper is weight loss and fat loss. And that, you know, Mary in the first week after Christmas loses 4 pounds, and then she thinks, okay, I'm actually going to go to the gym every day and I'm only going to eat salads. And that can be actually too aggressive for the body, in the sense that there's too much of a negative calorie deficit here. And basically, if you're not fueling the body to exercise enough, what's going to happen is the body is basically going to inhibit or reduce your ability to output energy. So these are dynamic. If you're going to do more, then you're going to have to feed yourself more. You know, you can't expect to drive the car faster and not fuel it. You know what I mean? And this is what we see. It's classic New Year syndrome. And a lot of people who want to do things aggressively, 6 weeks, you will carry that. It's not about day to day. Anyone can starve themselves day to day. It's your net calorie deficit at the end of the week, you know, is what counts. So kind of all things taken into account. We wanted to get this range of a healthy deficit, maximising enjoyment, minimising deprivation, having a good bit of flexibility, enabling him to be fueled for his training sessions and be able to fuel to recover, and just enjoy the food he's eating. You know, we looked at his eating habits and eating patterns. And
which I guess my eating habits were pretty, and that's the thing that kind of blew my mind. You're like, you're going to have to eat more, because in my head I was eating maybe once a day. So can you explain the logic behind training your body to eat again, or why that was an issue? Because I was thinking to myself, well, I'm only eating once a day, surely that's going to help me lose weight.
On paper, I suppose, but in terms of the body, like, and how the system works, it is back to that starvation mode. Like, you were skipping breakfast, I remember saying that. I know it's a Coke or coffee was your kind of 11s kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And then you were going in, I can't remember you having lunch, I can't remember back then.
Sometimes I'd have a lunch, sometimes I wouldn't. A lot of the time I wouldn't, but there might be a bar or something I'd grab out of the vending machine or whatever.
And of course, like, it's, and then you would have a decent, actually wholesome dinner, I remember that. And it'd be
sometimes.
Sometimes. But it'd be a good feed, you know, it'd be a lot of calories there and stuff, and then you'd be pretty stuffed and you probably wouldn't eat again. So we actually increased your calories dramatically, but it is because of this thing. If you're outside of that range, you know, if it's too aggressive, you have to feed the body to enable it to actually do work. So it is a thing of it. It's kind of a self-preservation, like starvation mode, and that changes some pathways in the brains and stuff. And I have some stuff online if you want to check that out about that. But basically, it doesn't allow your body to exert as much energy if you're not feeding it. So if you're only eating, like if you're, okay, I suppose different factors. You're burning, you know, it's your activity daily living. You've a relatively sedentary job. Apart from when you're vlogging, you're always on the move then, which is great. Your resting metabolic rate, which is a fancy scientific word for the amount of calories your body needs to operate if you stay in bed all day. And you have your exercise. So there are 3 main contributors to that. And basically, we have this here, and this is your set level. So what we're looking to do is the energy balance is get you here with your food, and then create a healthy calorie deficit. So at the end of the week, this does accumulate and it contribute to the bigger loss week on week. So what happens if you're only having your 1 meal a day? No, that wasn't based off any calculation. It was just the way things happened. You thought, if I eat less, I'm going to lose more.
Which kind of, you know, as you say, on paper makes sense.
Yeah,
but obviously not.
But it even is the case of, okay, if I eat, like, so you're probably here, let's say, and if we actually look at it in terms of your activity, say I'm actually going to eat more, then you're within the healthy range where your body is at an environment to allow you to lose fat. That will happen, but also it enables you to do more. And now the fact you actually began running and stuff, you've also incremented your food intake with that. So this is too aggressive. You want to hit that sweet spot. Now they're not static, they will change, they are dynamic, but it's keeping it within the deficit, but also within a reasonably healthy range to allow you to do things and to live a life. Like, you know, a lot of people go down, like a lot of people are starved, like with meal plans and stuff, and it's a pretty shitty lifestyle. You know, it's chronic. Like, there's a lot of shit out there, you know, and like nothing is inherently better than the other. It's just, this is the most important thing. If you keep a consistent and sustainable calorie deficit, you're going to get there, you know.
See, I suppose one of the things with me, as you know, I don't eat a lot of veg.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Like anything that's green, really doesn't go into my mouth at all. So all the broccoli, all of that kind of stuff, carrots, none of that. The only veggie really kind of peppers, chilies, onions, and potato.
Yeah.
Right. So I suppose we're going to talk about the food plans, right? Not getting into the specific food plans that we did. I think we had 5 or 6 of them. You know,
I think told, but
for anybody that's watching this, that's kind of going, this is what I eat. I can't eat green stuff from whatever. And that's what I said to Dave. As I said, look, it's easier for me to tell you what I don't eat than what I eat. And he came up with a plan based off of, my ingredients, as it were. And the only thing that was green in there was green chilies or green peppers, which I know probably from your perspective is like, but I think it's important that regardless of what somebody is eating or what they're capable of eating, and I'm sure I could have eaten the green stuff if I really put my mind to it, but I wasn't that willing, that you can still do this.
Yeah.
No matter what, you don't have to just eat all green stuff.
Oh, look, I think the biggest thing, right, I suppose nowadays everyone's so health conscious and health aware. Not everyone might not know what to eat, but everyone definitely knows what not to eat. You know what I mean? A spade. Stuff in your face, burgers and donuts is not going to help you. So, like with regard to when you came to me and people come to me, the first thing we do is sit down for conversation. We can identify your pitfalls or where you're going wrong. And the client nearly tells me that, you could tell me that, and you say, I can only eat really once a day, and I'm eating a lot, but I'm not losing anything. We gave you the rigmarole, the story, what happens, and you took that on board, and you understood. And I think that's a big thing with people that come to me. You have to understand the underlying concept, and then you will commit to doing it, I suppose with regard to kind of the veg and stuff, like it is helpful to get more micronutrients and stuff, but across a well-balanced, wholesome diet. Like we didn't have any supplements, we didn't have any juices, we didn't have any pills, we had nothing like that. It was just all wholesome, hearty food. It's well balanced. There's no, like, he's not going to be deficient in any vitamins or anything because we covered it throughout the day. We weren't having to sit down to eat, spoons full of spinach and stuff. On that note, like, with some people, with yourself, I was saying it once, twice, just, multivitamin as a safety net if you wanted to. And actually before bed, a lot of people take vitamins in the morning. I don't know, it's just the advert, sitting down to a glass of orange juice and a multivitamin. But if your it only goes into circulation then and is used throughout the day, whereas if you give your body a chance to be at rest and take it before you go to bed at night, there's interesting studies on that it will actually uptake the nutrients and give a chance to store them and utilise them more efficiently,
Like I found the food plans really manageable once we layered them up, because I know the first food plan that we did was, it's this for 2 weeks, nothing else.
Yeah.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner, that was it. The snacks in between.
Yeah.
And then you added another one, then you added another one. And literally, what I've done more so probably for the last 6 months is it's been chili, chicken curry, steak maybe once a week, or a burger and a wholemeal bun. And 3 litres of water a day.
Yeah.
That's at the core. Like I know we did rice cakes and stuff for snacks and almonds and stuff like that. But that was at the core.
Yeah. Yogurt and fruit, you love that.
Yeah, one of the things, and when I suppose we were trying to train my body to go, hey, you're going to get fed, on a regular basis, as opposed to, like Dave did suggest that, well, it was part of the plan was natural yogurt, and I was like, okay, that's not too bad. And then when I tasted it, I was like, I could not.
Yeah.
No way could I take the natural yogurt at all. Even, and you're like, I'll put berries into it, and it just got worse and worse and worse. But and I suppose that was one kind of downfall for me, was the natural yogurt, but I think we made it through.
Yeah.
Where are the biggest pitfalls for people when they do kind of start on something like this? Because for me, missing the sugar was the first thing that you kind of notice. The cheat meal was a big, there was no cheat meal, there was no junk food for a long time. I remember when you said to me, okay, now you can start to drink. That kind of, I was like, why is he telling me that? I don't want that, keep it away, I don't want it now.
Yeah.
Where do kind of people start falling down? Because one thing that I felt, and it was a pitfall for me, I think, is when I did start losing quite a lot of weight, I did feel I was in control, and I was like, maybe I can have something else, the next day.
Yeah.
So if a cheat meal Saturday night, then we might get a takeaway again on the Sunday night. Didn't happen every Sunday. It probably happened 3 or 4 out of the year that there was So that was a pitfall for me where I got comfortable, thinking I was in control, which I was in control because I made the decision to do it. But at the same time, you can be kind of on a knife edge sometimes where you can sway either way. So where are the pitfalls do you find in your experience from people, and what's the best way to kind of combat those?
Yeah, it just goes back to the whole concept of people being underfed. They go at it too aggressively and they think, all right, I'm going on holidays, or I'm going, I have a wedding or whatever, you know, and in 6 weeks I need to be 4 stone lighter, 3 stone lighter, 2 stone, even 1 stone, whatever. And they go at it too aggressively, you know. They think the more I do and the less I eat, and while that is essentially it on paper, that's not just going to work, you know. People really starve themselves and deprive themselves, whereas, you know, I suppose with you what we done was the same foods for the first 2 weeks, because now you could garnish it and, you know, format the meal however you wanted. Like, I'm not a chef, not bad, no either, like, but it was how you kind of...
Those garnish words are real chef, that's real chef terminology. You're a chef.
How you do dress it up yourself, you know, and you do get a bit creative in fairness, but my concern is more about the numbers of, like, calories is the priority, and then we kind of go down to macronutrients, and then we're looking at your, you know, your deficit, like Monday to Sunday, and then your weekly deficits, you know. Pitfalls for people are definitely, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, grand, because they're in work, they have nothing else to be doing, they're set routine, they're patterns, but I especially find with people actually who diet in work, and I find a lot of people who I actually know are like this, they look like they're absolutely meticulous with the diet, and you'd wonder why they're not shifting it, but it's obviously like, you get home, and it's not being prepared, definitely, you know, and going in, and you have a choice to sit down, and have, you know, a bar of chocolate and a bag of potato and 2 slices of bread just because it's there and convenient because you're ravenous, or you can go and take out the chicken and rice and make 30-40 minutes of making a meal. People usually, if you're in that state where you're absolutely starving, you're going to want to have something ready and something at hand. That's where the snacking came in handy for us. You do a lot of moving, you're travelling a lot of time, so we did kind of get kind of stuff, convenient stuff there, which was still reasonable. So people get pitfalls in around that they do panic, like, or they're very, very strict, and then they fall off the wagon because they're not fed enough, and then they're wondering why they can't feed themselves because they're starving. And then the other thing is people not being prepared, you know. And I suppose the reason behind the first 2 weeks with you having the same foods was because you'd learn how to, number one, prepare them in bulk, I suppose, and get a little bit more creative around it. But also for that element of strictness, I wouldn't have that with everyone, I suppose, but definitely for where you were at that time. And when he came into me, it is something we definitely wanted to kind of gradually bring in more flexibility to you, because even off the bat, your first question, can I have 2 cans of Coke? I suppose, I remember one of them in, we sat down after the first 2 weeks and you were pretty content with how things were going, and you were saying to me, you know, and I was kind of intrigued by it, I was kind of wondering, because you seemed very unenthusiastic when you first came in, like, you know, I know you want to do it, but is it only because you have to do it? I'm saying, why? And you saying it's about your kids and stuff. You're saying long term, you know, you want to be around as a father, like a young father at that, and you don't want your kids to be, you know, 5-10 years time to be fatherless, like, and you're saying it's about interacting more with them. And I suppose, has this kind of whole process enabled that a bit more, you know, to be running around with your young fella playing ball or chasing Maya, or, you know?
Yeah, when I have to wrestle the controller off him from Fortnite. No, absolutely. It is, hugely. I just feel that if we want to do anything, I suppose we climbed a mountain a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
So that was an experience for him. Again, I don't appreciate now how much of an experience it was for him in years to come.
Yeah.
But the ability to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Was kind of mind blowing, really. Like,
yeah.
You know, that was huge.
And what I suppose, even on that note, like, you know, you came at a place where it almost seemed as if it was too far out of reach, you know.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I was the biggest and heaviest I'd ever been. 4XL was starting to get tight. I did order 1 or 2 5XL shorts.
Okay.
And it felt really it felt impossible, to be honest. And the first session I started with Liam in the gym here, I was like, I'm just going to stay this way forever. I remember I said that in a video.
I remember you saying that as well to me, actually, here. Like, you know, just checking in on you like day 2, and you're like, yeah, it's okay. Do you know?
Yeah, I wasn't overly excited. And do you know what? I used the YouTube thing as an excuse. That was the outside thing. I said that in the last video. The inside thing was probably I knew deep down that I had to kind of make this change for the greater good.
Yeah.
The YouTube, the vlog stuff, and it was good content as well, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But that was the excuse I used. So as opposed to thinking, you know, on the outside, you've got to do this, you're going to die, I was like, do this is good vlog content. You know, you can document the journey. And I think the vlog content, documenting it and going, oh, it's all for YouTube, which it isn't and it wasn't, was the excuse that I needed to kind of keep going.
Yes.
And for me, it was about breaking the 3-month barrier, because that's where I failed the last time. Once we got to the 4 months, I'm like, okay. Then we got to 5, then we got to 6.
Yeah, there was a real moment where you switched, like, and you were unbelievably enthusiastic. You were ready for road. You were wanted more and more, and it almost went from trying to jumpstart you to having to pull the reins on it, you know.
Yeah, like I still really, the first day I came out to you and the first day we had the consultation, I know it was a Friday night and stuff, I was like going, my thought leaving was, I'm going home and there's no cheat meal. That was the first thought.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going home, there's no cheat meal. But yeah, it's just knowing that I have the ability to do whatever I want to do now, whether that's go, you know, hike up a gigantic waterfall, or like we were in Marbella over the summer, and I remember my wife saying to me, she goes, will you just slow down? I'd see a hill and I'd like put one of the kids into the buggy and just thunder up this hill in 40-degree heat because I could. You know? And something else that I said on the original video was that I hated walking anywhere with anybody. Because you know, when you're walking with somebody else and anybody was nearly in better shape than me, so naturally they would have set the walking pace. And I remember being out for dinner in Kinsale with a couple of very good friends, and I remember where they parked the car and they walked to the restaurant. I was like, why couldn't you just park outside the restaurant? And when we got to the restaurant, I'm like, look, there was a space outside the restaurant. And I remember the walk nearly killed me, like.
Out of breath, like.
And I remember, like, during the dinner, I was dreading it being over because there was this huge walk back to the car, and then they're like, will we go in somewhere here for it? And I'm like, that's another mile away from the car. You know, but yes is the answer.
Yeah, no, it's good, like, cause I suppose like people only see the snapshots of it, of what you've achieved, like, but it's been on the process with, you know, and how you did kind of really, you know, hit some blocks along the way as well, you know, and it wasn't all plain sailing. Like, I think someone looking at it might think like, oh, here's a man who lost 8 stone in a year, sure, everything's fine. But just obviously have your day-to-day life, you have kids, you have a very busy work life, you know, and you have, you know, your vlogging, like, which is obviously very time consuming. I think that's a big thing I try and get across to people. You know, I think it's very annoying to see nutritionists or trainers online who, like, you know, sitting down at 11 o'clock in the morning having a coffee and going training at 2 o'clock and going for a swim at 6 o'clock, and they don't have kids, they don't have, you know.
Yeah, a lot of that.
There's no realism around it, like, you know, whereas I think this is a real life, and it's real actual food for someone who has a busy lifestyle, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you know, like, as soon as you start doing anything health and fitness orientated, like YouTube algorithms and Google algorithms, they bombard you with ads of these guys who have, like, you know, 24 packs, you know, and they're ripped and they're shredded and they're tanned, and I'm just gonna tan.
Get your fitty hair and all this.
And this kind of thing, and they're all peddling something, and they're not. Those guys were never real to me. You know, I found it hard to relate. So that was one of the ideas of putting this out there and bringing you in for this conversation as well, is that I am not your 6-pack ripped shredded dude, like I probably never will be, you know. I'd like to lose a bit more of the loose skin and the flab and a bit of muscle definition, but those other guys, they're selling a dream that a lot of people will never achieve.
Yeah, big time, you know, it's a marketing ploy behind it, you know, like, you know, you look at these people and they look happy. First off, you never see a man ever being sad or depressed off his edge, and he's always selling equipment or food, and I don't know, like,
There's all, you know, give us your email address and we send you the ebook and then have you.
Reeling in, and there's different, like you'd see it come the new year, like there'll be a lack of any evidence behind anything or any reasoning for it. There'll be an emotional hook, you know, make 2019 your year, be happier. You know what I mean? Everyone wants to be happier, like, you know, it's how, you know, that's up to you. You know, look better, all these kind of buzzwords, you know, and they usually have a supplement or they have some secret ingredient, and people are pretty disappointed sometimes when they, I suppose, like yourself, you know now, like there was nothing I told you that you couldn't eat at any point, just saying that you'd have to be constantly tipping the balance, and obviously not to be eating any junk food really, like, is the essence of it, not to go back to the point of, you know, everybody might not know what to eat, but everyone certainly knows what not to eat, you know what I mean? People know that junk food is not going to help you. For multiple reasons, but it's even the fact that now you've been through it, and you might even feel a bit surreal that you've been through the whole process of a year, you know, and there is no secret ingredient, like, you know, and that's something I suppose, like, you wanted to know at the start as well. You kind of asked me, like, you know, what's the deal here? Like, I've done this before for 3 months and I couldn't eat this, and I had to eat this at this time, and I had to do this, and I had the blueberries and the full moon was out, you know, whereas that wasn't the thing, you know.
Just before we wrap up, Dave, and something for everybody watching, I suppose you've worked in this industry, and I mean, you've really come at this from the scientific perspective. There was no BS with you. I would now say that it's straightforward to do. Yeah. It is simple. And I think I had convinced myself for whatever reason that this was impossible. And I think a lot of people will talk themselves into losing weight as being impossible. A lot of people will say it's 80% food. Losing weight is 80% food. Yeah. 20% is the gym. It is simple, right?
It is simple, but it's not easy. You know? Anyone can diet for 6 weeks. It's adherence, sustainability. Do it for a year like you did, and turn around and tell me that it's easy, you know? So it is simple, like, it's not rocket science, and that's something I would have said to people before. It is a science, but it's not rocket science. It is simple, done correctly, and within reasonable kind of, you know, scope of not being too aggressive with it. But it's certainly not easy. You know, like, come around, we're all smiles, we're all happy now, but there's been days I got texts, you know, that involve a couple of scrolls from Mick. Not maybe being too happy about something or struggling with something, but you break through it, you know what I mean? Such is life, you know?
Okay. Final one. I know the thing is that you just need to start, but for somebody that's watching this going, I've made the decision to start, besides calling you, right? What's the first thing they should do from the food perspective?
Well, again, everyone knows what not to eat. It is a case of cutting out the, you know, don't get me wrong, like, you know, if people want to eat junk food, kind of limit it, you know, to maybe one night a week and have it, you know, like, and have it relatively guilt-free. I suppose in the new kind of era things, people get very obsessive as well, you know, and that's not healthy either. So basically, cut out fizzy drinks and processed junk shit as much as you can. But then you have to replace it with food, you know what I mean? You have to eat something. People often just cut it and that's it. You know, like you, I'm eating one meal, why aren't I losing weight? So it's just starting, being more aware of both things, not eating junk and also eating enough. You know, and think long term. Like, short term is easy, well, short term is very doable for anyone. Like, we've all been on diets, including me. I've been through the ringer with it in my younger days, like, you know, when I was uneducated in it. You know, madness, like, you do anything, and if you thought someone's giving you the right buzzwords and it sounds fantastic and like, oh my god, I'm gonna lose all the weight, like, it's not, it doesn't work like that, you know. It is simple, but it's not easy. Cut the shit, cut down on your takeaways, you know, be more active, you know, get a bit of exercise in, and do something you enjoy. If you enjoy something, you're going to stick to it, you know. You know, you've got a few things coming up your sleeve, which I think people will find interesting. I won't give any spoilers, but the things you enjoy, and things you want to do. So you will stick to it, you know. If you're going into a gym to walk on a treadmill for 45 minutes every morning, staring at the clock, being like, oh my god, here we go, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, you know, it's not, you're not going to really enjoy it. Oh, there's days that are tough, and that's where the whole motivation thing comes back in. It's just about getting it done. So be more active, and activity, daily living is a big thing. I remember saying it to you when you kind of laughed at me at the start, like, not a chance. Park further away, like the restaurant, you know, take the stairs, not the escalator, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like, you know, they do all add up. You know, it might seem small today, 10 minutes might seem like a small walk today, you know, but by the end of the week that's 70 minutes. You know what I mean? So all those things add up. You know? So...
Dude, you are a fountain of knowledge, man. It's
Thank you, pleasure.
It has been an absolute pleasure to work with this absolute legend. Let me tell you.
You're doing the work, not me.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. You have to listen to a lot. If people want to find you, where do they find you?
Check out Momentum Performance. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and check out the website, momentumperformancecork.com.
All right, there you go.
All right, cheers, Vic.
Dude,
brilliant.
You're a star. Really appreciate it.
Very good.